Hello, 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 and welcome to another session of Let's Get Real with Mona. That's me, Mona Naidu. And this week we are talking about expansion. Yes, in the series, what I share with you are stories and teachings to inspire you to turn your dreams into reality. And as I've shared, the theme for August is expansion. Now, if you are in my community, you know how important expansion is. But sometimes we can forget about why the expansion is actually happening and how to deal with it. Like I've shared over the past couple of weeks, expansion can either be deliberate or it can be forced upon us. And as you know, when something's forced upon us, it can become very, very challenging because we didn't expect it. It's unexpected. It's, thrust upon us. And then we run around helter skelter, not knowing what to do. Now, have you ever thought about the messages that our body gives us when we are going through our expansion? Have you even been aware of that? Well, I'm sure that over the last 2 weeks, a couple of weeks actually, you've been noticing some interesting things happening with your body. Now, just think about this. When we normally think about expansion, what goes through one's mind? Well, it's usually about the things that we must do and the things we have to achieve and have and acquire or accumulate by a certain period of time. Do we think about spirituality and our connection to God, the universe, spirit? Now, some people do. Now, for me, expansion is all about an upgrade. You see, it's the next model, the next version of me. Now, I can still be the 1969 model and I can be chugging along, or I can choose to improve myself. I can choose to upgrade myself. I can choose to expand myself. Over the years, as each version of me shows up, and then in 2022, I can show up as the 2022 version of me. Just like a car, just like a cell phone, a computer, or any electronic device that you are aware of, that you've seen becoming better and better and improving and being upgraded over the years. Now, you see, very often with expansion, we may look outside of us for confirmation to see that we are growing. Like I said, we look to see how much of money is in the bank. We look to see what assets we've acquired, what material things are around us. How much bigger is our house, or how much bigger is our car? And when we stop to think about it, messages come to us in various ways. And this week, we're going to explore the messages that our body gives us about our expansion. Now, just let me know, have you ever realized that your body is giving you messages about your expansion? Now, this is what conscious living is all about. You see, our bodies can help us understand whether we are expanding or we are contracting, we are shrinking. Now, did you know that our body is a vessel? It's a vessel to bridge the spiritual side of us and the material side of us. Now, if you weren't aware of this, expansion first occurs on the spiritual level, on the 5D realm. And then what happens is that we have to integrate it here in the 3D realm, the physical, the material realm. And this is where things start getting pretty interesting. You see, when things are coming in from the spiritual realm, the 5D realm, it's coming in a very high vibrational form. It's coming in as light frequencies. It's coming in as light codes. Now, unless our bodies are crystalline, now for those of you out there, you may know what crystalline mean, but for others, you may be wondering, what does this mean? It means that our body is this clear vessel. It is healthy, it's vibrant, it's radiant, it's energized, it's full of life force energy. Now, when our body is crystalline, it becomes easier to integrate these high frequency codes and energies that are coming into our body from the spiritual realm, from the higher realms. And it's easier to allow this upgrade to occur. But when our bodies when our bodies are filled with toxins, filled with negative emotions that have landed in our bodies, if you did not know that, that's what happens to our negative emotions. They get stuck in our bodies. So we have these toxic memories. We have toxins from what we eat, what we consume, what we breathe in. And this then makes our body really dense. So what do you think happens then? Well, it becomes harder for these light frequencies to integrate into our body. Now, many people think it's the opposite way around. They're trying to get their bodies in shape and they're trying to do work on their bodies, and they think that that's how the expansion's occurring. But it works simultaneously. It's the spiritual side that we have to work on, our connection to infinite wisdom, God, Source, Spirit, the universe, as well as our physical 3D material selves. Now, the whole thing is this: when our bodies become dense and filled with all these negative emotions, thoughts, the toxic waves that are out there, it does not allow us to have space for this expansion. Now, as you know, if you want to expand, you have to make space. It doesn't matter what it is. If you want to go and get a wardrobe of new clothes, then you're going to make space. You're going to remove all the old things out, or the things that no longer serve you. Now, when our body reacts, most people think that, oh my goodness, something's wrong with me, I'm ill, I've got to go out, I've got to get medical assistance. Now, sometimes that is beneficial, and I'm not giving you medical advice here. So please make sure that you still go consult your medical practitioner or, a medical professional for whatever medical situations you are experiencing. But we've become so used that if something's not well with our body, instead of stopping and asking our body, what is the message? What is going on here? We run ahead and we go look to someone else. We go look outside of us for an answer. We forget that our body is giving us an indication. Our body is telling us that there's something to go look at, that something's moving, something's shifting, and it requires our body to come into flow. Now, what I found is that when we don't understand something, we try to fix it. And how do we try fixing our body? Well, with putting medication into it, by going and doing things that actually put our body in a more stressful state, that actually understanding it and freeing it from the pain, the agony that it may be in. Now, what are some of these symptoms that I'm talking about that happens during expansion and that is misunderstood as something being wrong with us? Now, here's some. This list is not exhaustive, it's just a few to help you get thinking about this. So, here's some of the symptoms that our bodies, showing us to get our attention and to indicate that expansion is occurring. Dizziness. Have you been feeling dizzy recently for no apparent reason? Yes, that's an ascension symptom, an expansion symptom. Because remember, when we talk about ascension and expansion, I'm using it interchangeably because as we expand, we ascend in our consciousness. So when I say ascension, I'm talking about expansion. And when I'm talking about expansion, I'm talking about our ascension, our awakening, us raising our consciousness. Now, the other symptom that's very notable, our body aches, mostly our joints. I'm sure you've been experiencing that. And you may be wondering, but why is my body suddenly so painful, so sore? You could be sitting and you'll notice an ache. Now, not to worry. You know that these are ascension and expansion symptoms. A runny nose or post-nasal drip. Now, out of the blue, you'll notice that your nose is just runny, or you'll notice that the back of your throat there's a post-nasal drip. Another expansion symptom. Coughing. Now, this is a big one for me. Coughing. It's a way to shift the energy. But what's happening is sometimes it can get stuck because there's an emotion behind it as well. So this coughing can be exacerbated because there's an emotion behind it. Sneezing is another expansion symptom. Yes, I'm sure you've noticed, and what have you attributed it to? You may have said it's change of seasons. You may be saying it's the air conditioning. Maybe ask, what is the sneezing about, right? Tiredness is another one that people have been reporting. I cannot tell you how many people I've spoken to have reported feeling extremely tired, even though they've rested, they have eaten well, or they are not ill in any way. They have noticed tiredness. Now, why am I sharing some of these symptoms with you? Like I've said, when we are unaware what they are, we can think that there's something wrong with us, right? And when we think that something's wrong with us, what do we want to do? We want to fix something instead of understanding something. Now, please understand, you may require some medical attention to address whatever symptoms it is, because it all depends how severe it is for you. But when you understand what's happening behind those symptoms, because these are, like I'm saying, symptoms. And if you're just addressing symptoms, you're not shifting the energy the way it can shift, and then freely allow these high vibrational frequencies that are waiting to download and integrate into your body. Because remember, expansion, ascension is all about who you're becoming, the upgraded version of you, the newer version of you, the newer model of you. So, like with technology, some serious stuff has to happen in those components for you to be this better, brighter, expansive version of you. Now, I have found that whenever I am going through expansion, coughing has been the number one symptom that I have. And sometimes the coughing can be so exaggerated and painful that people around me wonder what's going on. I can just be talking to you right now, and the next minute I can be coughing. And I'm sure In a few of the videos, you have noticed that I had been coughing in few of the lives because that's what happened. There's a tickle at the back of the throat, and then I will start coughing and coughing. Now, my husband versus first reaction, and he's been like this way for years, is I'm going to take you to the doctor because, quite frankly, it looks like I'm very challenged to somebody who's witnessing me. But I know that the coughing is just something that wants to come out. It's me barking at the world. It's me having my voice get my throat chakra being cleared out. And here's another thing, notice wherever you're feeling the symptom. Is it in one of your energy points? So for me, it's the throat. And the throat has always been a very focal point for me from the time I was little. Because behind it is the whole thing about not being able to speak, not being able to ask for what I wanted, not being heard. So, like Louise Hay in her book, Heal Your Life, she talks about coughing, and coughing is a way where we're barking at the world. You see, when we weren't being heard, then the way to be heard was through our coughing. And all this is happening unconsciously and on a subconscious level. So when you understand that this cough is coming out, it's your expansion, you are clearing the ways, you're clearing the energy center, you're clearing the chakras so that you can communicate more freely, because that's what's happening for me. That I can communicate my truth, I can speak more authentically. Well, that's the area that gets challenged. Now, here's the thing. Have I been working on this for a while? Yes. But there's so many different layers, there's so many different levels of this experience, this huge emotional trigger. And it gets planted and calcified and calcified and calcified. So during expansion, our body wants to release that energy. So that's the way it does, through what appears to be these physical symptoms that may be termed as an illness, a dis-ease of some kind. Now, like I said, it's my coughing. And you noticed at the beginning of this video, there was still something in my throat because it's still shifting. I'm still upgrading. I'm still expanding. And this is a great awareness to have because you know where your point of your energy center that is most impacted. You know which energy center requires your attention at any given time. And this awareness, well, puts you in the driver's seat. You see, because no longer do we come from the place of being a victim. We actually show up as the victorious, the victor in our lives, because we know something's happening to help us, to guide us. Right? Now, as I said, over the past couple of weeks, some high frequencies have been flooding the planet. And whether we want to or not, we are receiving them. But the state of our body, the way we can receive it, this physical vessel, our body, the more crystalline it is, the easier it is to integrate. Whatever denseness is in our body, through whatever toxins, whatever it is that may be causing that denseness, makes it a little bit difficult. So we have to consciously move this. We have to consciously shift this. We have to consciously allow this integration to happen instead of just sitting there and not helping it along. Because here's the thing, we get to help our physical body receive the high vibrational frequencies. Now, you may be wondering, how does this impact my abundance? Absolutely. Because think about it. If you are in pain in your body, if you're not understanding that these symptoms that's happening in your body, these messages from your body, is so that the energy can shift, so that you can become more aligned to your true, authentic self, and then to your abundance. Because whenever your body is working excellently, whenever your state of health and well being is at its highest, its best, its most excellent form, well, what do you think happens? You are in alignment for all the good around you. So, when you understand that a sneeze or a cough is a shift, it's a vibration change, it's a frequency change, and whenever it's there for too long, get a little bit deeper with it. Allow it to move, acknowledge it, see it for what it is if you want to, and release it, because that's how you allow the expansion to occur. Trust, listen to your body. You see, our body is constantly communicating with us. It tells us when we are in alignment with our abundance, or it tells us when we are not. It tells us when we have to address something. I say it as God's way, the universe's way of getting our attention to address something so we can move to our next level. That's how I see it. Now, our body is what anchors us to this physical realm. And I'm not sure if you realize that when things get tough, you want to escape, you want to run away. But we can't live our best lives in the 5D realm. We live our best lives here in the 3D, in the physical, in the material world. This is the gift that we get to experience in this lifetime. So when we are all out of sorts, what we are doing is we need to pay attention that we are not fully in our body. We are not fully allowing the expansion, the integration of the expansion to occur in our body. Sometimes our body is saying to us, pause. Sometimes it's saying, stop. Sometimes it's saying, hey, we've got to take a different turn here. Sometimes it's even saying to us, we've got to take a whole new path. And if we're not listening to our body, if we're not paying attention, then we miss the signs that our body is giving us about our expansion. You see, expansion is about what's the next best step for us. Rest is part of expansion. Now, we must be willing to go within to find the answers we seek, to grow, to evolve, to expand our consciousness. What I found is the lighter we become, the higher we go. The higher we go, the higher our vibration, and the more aligned we become to our abundance. So the next time you have some kind of symptom in your body, check to see what's the message before you rush off and go pop a pill or have to go see somebody because you think that there's something bad happening. Yes, you may still require to get some medical attention, but you'll notice that the response time to your recovery happens very speedily compared to in the past when you just went about and handed yourself over to someone else to tell you what's going on with your body. Now, the more you connect to your body's wisdom and natural healing ability, the greater will be your ability to align to and attract your abundance. So here's some tips. When you are having these expansion symptoms, when your body is talking to you and your body is going in different directions to what you would love for it to go, here's some of the things you can do. Hydration. Now, you choose whichever one can work best for you. Hydration is number one. When our body is going through this expansion and integrating these expansive energies, hydration. And what do I mean by that? Not coffee and not tea. I'm talking about pure water here. I'm talking about pure H2O. It is one of the most beautiful substances you can put into your body and help it to deal with these expansive energies. Yes, so for those of you who don't enjoy drinking water, the answer is pretty simple. You just have to train yourself to have some fun with water. Now, fresh fruit and veg. Remember, we want to get our body crystalline. Water helps us do this, and fresh fruit and veg. You see, there's something that if it's the symptoms exacerbated, it means something wants to shift. Now, we don't want to go put more processed food into it or dense food into our body. We want something light and fresh that our body can easily digest. And it can also help to carry out the toxins from our body. You want to do a body or foot soaks. Now, what am I talking about here? You see, when your body is in pain or discomfort of some kind, soaking in a bath, either an Epsom salt bath or an Aura salt bath. If you can't be in a bath, then put your feet in water. Soak your feet for 20 minutes in the same Epsom salt or Aura salts, bath of water. Now, I love doing that. I love cleansing my body in that way. I love replenishing my body with magnesium and all the other minerals that my body can absorb from these products to help me to deal with the ascension symptoms. Energy healing. You can go to someone who does energy healing and clear and cleanse your body. Movement is a great thing. Now, what am I talking about movement here? I'm not talking about running and going and stressing your body out. Remember, these expansive frequencies require us to be loving and kind and gentle with our body. So, soul dancing is pretty awesome with this. Some Qigong or Tai Chi, a bit of yoga, some Pilates, but whatever is not going to stress your body, you want it to be loving and kind and gentle. And last but not least, breathing. Breathing can help you to regulate, it can help you to move the life force energy through your body. Now, notice with all these different tips that I've given you, you're bringing in life force energy in its various forms into your body. And that is the greatest way to deal with the expansion symptoms through the messages from your body. Now, I'd love to hear what it is, what value you got from your session today, from the session today. Let me know what ascension symptoms and expansion symptoms you've been experiencing through your body. What messages has your body been giving you? And which one of the tips will you be trying out, and which ones have you been practicing in order to help you through your expansion and ascension process? I'd love to hear from you. So watch out for the upcoming videos. We're going to deal with other symptoms that you may not have realized that is giving you messages about your expansion. So until next time, ciao for now.